Today at the UN Climate Conference in Poznan, Poland, and the question of the US position came up at the press conference of the Climate Action Network.
Well, clearly many of us will be working with President-elect Obama and members of Congress to ensure that he delivers a strong emission reduction target at home, and that actually he can meet and that we can deliver in both domestically and the international context. I mean, what he has continued to say is that he will establish a cap and trade system for the US to reduce their emissions to 1990 levels, and we will be working with him to ensure that the kinds of conversations, the kinds of targets are meeting what the science demands. But it's a little too early to outline in both his position, but also in terms of the congressional debate, sort of where that debate will unfold, and obviously we'll need to bring that forward into the international conversation. They're clearly at the beginning stages of formulating their position, so they haven't made strong decisions.
In the gray, back there, please.
Thank you. My name is Heidi Blattman. I'm from the Neue Zürcher Zeitung in Zurich. I would like to know, what do you think would happen if the Annex I party leaders who come in next days don't show leadership? What will happen in Copenhagen? What could happen?
Well, we certainly hopeful that they will display leadership. I think, as you know, we say the world is watching, and developing nations particularly would like to see that happening. So we're still wanting to be optimistic about it, and we do want to hear what the ministers have to say. We need to understand, I suppose, that Poznan is on the way to Copenhagen, and that there's going to have to be tough work and negotiations in next year. And so we would have to continue to put pressure on our political leaders, on the Annex I countries during the negotiations that continue next year, to in fact make strong commitments, to take the deeper cuts in emissions, to also back up the kind of commitments to finance, technology transfer and capacity building for developing nations, so that they can also enhance their actions. Well, it's for both adaptation and of course mitigation, where those countries are ready to do specific actions around mitigation in the developing world. So I think that we must not be, we'd be very disappointed, but as you know, there's still the road to Copenhagen, and we have to be strong, and we will have to keep the pressure on to ensure strong leadership by Annex I countries next year.
Meanwhile, the youth delegation were trying to put their own kind of pressure on the negotiations.
Well, we've got a load of European youth from various different countries here, and we're all working on calling our heads of state to make sure that we get a strong climate deal tomorrow, when all the heads of state from different European countries are going to be negotiating what kind of deal they're going to come up with.
Hello, my name is Oleg Izumenko, and I'm with the Swedish youth delegation in Poznan, in Poland, at the United Nations Climate Change Conference. And I would like to leave a message for Fredrik Reinfeldt.
Je m'appelle Pierre Urbain, je suis ici représentant des jeunes francophones à Poznan en Pologne à la conférence des Nations Unies sur les changements climatiques. En fait, j'aurais un message à transmettre à Monsieur Le Terme.
We're saying that it's really urgent that they push for a strong climate deal, because at the moment the deal as we look at it now is not going to safeguard our future against dangerous climate change.
I just managed to have a phone conversation with the Secretary of Prime Minister of Sweden, Fredrik Reinfeldt, and she promised to pass a message from the Swedish youth delegation that we would like to see Swedish leadership in the negotiations for the climate and energy package, and we would like to see ambitious targets for this climate and energy package. And she promised to pass our message to him, and she said that he's going to be tomorrow here in Poznan, and maybe we'll have a chance to talk to him directly and make these demands.
I called 10 Downing Street to ask to speak to Gordon Brown, because I live in the UK, and I was told that they don't take phone messages for Mr. Brown, they only take letters, and then I got hung up on, unfortunately.
Well, the outcome of this calling campaign is that we get as many people as possible to phone up the Prime Minister and show that there is public pressure, there is a public will to take strong action now on climate change. Because I think what seems to be stalling the negotiations somewhat is that leaders are unsure about whether people really care about this. And we're trying to show that yes, everybody, well, lots and lots of people really care about this serious issue that is going to define our generation.